Welcome back to New Rockstars, everybody. This is The Big Question, the show that gives you too much information about time travel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how maybe the reason so few people do it is that the TVA sucks more than traffic school. My name is MT, and here today is Erik Voss, my brother from another mother. How you doing, Erik?
I'm doing good, MT. I'm so glad we have an excuse to talk about time travel. I secretly want every Big Question episode to be one about time travel. Ah! It's amazing. And we did a whole thing. Hector Navarro, our good friend, and I did this big episode about time travel back in August of 2020. And now that Loki is here, it's kind of revising some of the rules of time travel. Yes. Also, I got Tenet's time travel logic all wrong, so we needed to do an update. And MT, so glad we could do it.
Me too. I'm a huge fan of time travel. Time travel is my shit, but I know that time travel is even more your shit. So I'm glad that you are here for this question, or for this video anyway. Now, trailers for the newest Disney Plus show, Loki, have indicated that the MCU is returning to one of their favorite narrative devices, time travel. Because in the latest trailer, we get a glimpse of the prime MCU timeline with many branch timelines shooting off of it. So this has us wondering, how does the TVA and Loki change the rules of time travel in the MCU, Erik?
All right, MT, I got you covered. I got you covered until some point in the future, in which I will be completely wrong, but we'll just go back in time and fix it. So if it's not fixed right now, it means that I was correct. Right? If we're using that version of time travel.
Exactly.
I get to talk about my types. Oh, my types. Yes, my types.
What is your type, Erik? Tell me your type.
Oh, you'll hear my type. Oh, I can't wait to tell you my type. But first, I got to tell you about the Time Variance Authority, the TVA. Yes. This is the bureaucratic organization in the Marvel Universe tasked with keeping the pure timeline intact. They just kind of keep order within the multiverse of timelines and make sure that no one gets away with too much time meddling. They're time cops, but also time lawyers and time DMV desk workers and time whatever. Mike Wazowski, did you fill out your time paperwork? Time traveling Wazowski.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
Major corporate heads over at the TVA.
Now, in the comics, the TVA's base of operations is this area called the Null Time Zone. Yes. It's a dimension that exists outside the normal boundaries of space and time. And actually, in one of the trailers, Mobius M Mobius says, well, time passes differently here in the TVA. Wow.
That was impressive. That was a really good impression.
He says it just like that, and that means they're in the null time zone. According to our eagerness to make things what we want them to be in our headcanon. Some more rules to this. It appears that they use elevator-style portals to travel to different points in the main timeline. That's kind of a cool aesthetic choice there.
Majorly cool. I love the way the portals look.
There it goes.
It's so great. Now, the Loki variant that we're following in the show branched off from the Prime timeline when he stole the Tesseract, the Space Stone, and escaped post-Battle in New York in 2012, thanks to the actions of the time-traveling Avengers who were in the middle of that time heist. So let me quickly explain the 8 types of time travel according to me.
Let's get
This is going to take you back to that video. So type 1 is what I call f*** it time travel. That's basically the vast majority of time travel stories where anything goes. There's some kind of magical goofy device, whether it's a DeLorean or a hot tub or a phone booth, fixing history. There's something that happened in the past that they want to change. Back to the Future is a kind of classic example of that. But then in Back to the Future Part 2, we get a new type of time travel that is called branch reality time travel, type 2. This is where changes to the past don't just kind of affect the future automatically, but rather split the timeline into a multiverse of different timelines. You remember Doc Brown drawing the 1985 B. So it's kind of different rules of time travel now. And that's what Hulk was trying to explain to Scott Lang and Rhodey of no, when you have a new future now, it's a different timeline.
So Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit?
It tends to be when they start trying to be smart about time travel. That's type 2.
Okay.
Type 3 is what we call time dilation. This is where characters move forward in time at a different speed. They can't go back in time. So we see this in Interstellar, Flight of the Navigator, there's other places this shows up. Type 4 is what we call this always happened time travel. Okay. This is where screenwriters try to get real clever with it. It's where time is always the way it was on a predestined loop. Like things are the way they are. This unusual world is, because some future time traveler actually went back without me noticing and just made things the way they are. So everything is kind of justified by the act of time travel. Terminator, the reason why John Connor has to lead a resistance where Skynet technology evolves into this artificial intelligence is because time travel happened to prevent that to begin with. Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban, the third one. It was all like, wait, how did I get hit in the head by the back of this thing? Oh, it's because the future you did that to get your attention so that Fudge didn't catch you.
And then they just never bring it up again.
And they never bring it. And the creepy implication of this is, there is no free will because things happen not because of your choices, but because you are destined to do them. It's complicated. And by the way, we learned that Christopher Nolan's Tenet follows the this always happened predestination theory of everything that happens. Even though they go reversal in time, they use these temporal pincers. Things are the way they are because people have looped back in the future to set them that way. That's just the rules of it. Seeing the future is what we call type 5. That's just the kind of classic one where characters can look ahead in the future and they change their actions to affect the future. So Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, Minority Report,
That's a Raven, of course. That invented the type.
Yes. But is it really time travel? Your consciousness kind of gets projected in the future, but arguably not time travel per se. Now, Groundhog Day is type 6. That's where characters are stuck in a time loop and they keep reliving the same day or the same year, or they get as far as they can before they have to loop back. Palm Springs, Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. They're using this more and more. A Russian Doll does that. And then type 7 is my type. Unstuck mind. This is where characters displace their consciousness forward and backward in time and then relive their history. So Logan does this in X-Men Days of Future Past. That's consciousness displacement, unstuck time. Famously, it was Slaughterhouse 5 that really was like the first time people were like, whoa, this is a way you can do time travel. Kurt Vonnegut does where Billy Pilgrim jumps around in time. Desmond in Lost does this. And that was made a lot of references to Slaughterhouse 5 when they did that in Lost. And then type 8 might be one of the more complicated ones. And I call it unstuck body because it's kind of like characters are moving backwards through time, but they're able to control their actions and use the reversing time to their advantage and affect change. So there are examples of this. The one I like to use is Primer because it's kind of like characters go in a box and their bodies get de-aged. Their bodies are unstuck in time and they kind of loop back and they're able to change things. But Primer is also like a fusion of like a branch timeline, Groundhog Day time loop. But I like to refer to it as unstuck body because what's creepy about it is it's the closest to time travel real life theoretical physicists have come up with, where they're able to prove that certain particles theoretically can be de-aged on the axis of time. Which is just creepy to think about.
Do they make that in lotion form? Because I would love to get some de-aging going on here. That'd be great. You give me too much hope, Erik.
It depends what you're using the lotion for into. Leave it there.
Yes, it's not a multiple-use lotion. Please just be careful where you apply it. You don't want a baby penis. That's not good.
I wasn't good.
Oh, God. Okay.
Oh, my. Oh, me, oh, my.
Demonetize.
Okay, so those are the 8 types, and until now, every time we've seen time travel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's kind of fallen into a different category. They've been very inconsistent. So the Doctor Strange movie in 2016, it kind of starts with some unstuck body time reversal in Hong Kong with type 8. That's where Doctor Strange like uses the reassembling buildings to like trap people inside of fish tanks and stuff.
That was a great sequence.
That was so cool. Christopher Nolan just watched that and he's like, I could do this as a whole movie. That makes no sense. And then, but then they also famously use Groundhog Day style time loops when he's battling Dormammu in the Dark Dimension. He's like, I come here to bargain. Kind of his version, I could do this all day. That was type 6. And then Avengers Infinity War showed Doctor Strange seeing the future, type 5, when he looked ahead to the 14,605 possible outcomes. And then we get Avengers Endgame, which blows open time travel in the MCU, of course. It starts with this kind of branch time. Actually, it starts with time dilation, right? Because Scott Lang was time dilate in the quantum realm. So it's type 3. But then they go into branch timeline time travel, type 2. That's what Hulk is kind of explaining. But they also do a bit of unstuck body where Scott de-ages into a baby in type 8.
It's like a fruit basket.
It really is. But then it ends up in kind of a mix of type 1 time travel and type 4 this always happened time travel. It really depends on how you interpret Old Cap's return in the final scene. Now, the screenwriters claim that Old Cap was in the background of the MCU the whole time, and that everything we've seen has occurred because that's how Old Cap let it play out. Which is insane to think about, which is why the Russos disagree with it. And they're like, no, he just went to an alternate timeline, like Hulk said. He's just in an alternate history. He didn't let 9/11 happen. Are you kidding me?
That'd be real sketchy if he just let all those terrible things happen.
Yeah. So, as is the case with most time travel stories, we're kind of left with just it. And that's kind of where Loki seems to be hovering between that and branch timeline, because branch timeline is kind of the logic they're sticking with. Mobius's TVA monitor shows that flowing timeline, and it breaks off into branches, as you said, MT. And Loki is labeled variant L1130, and he's just one of many branch reality Lokis created by the initial break. From when he escaped in 2012. Even Tom Hiddleston said as much. He said that like the title logo refers to, it's all about identity, and it's just like different versions of this person that you're going to see. And by escaping on that path, this Loki variant was able to bypass the historical path that we saw the Prime Loki follow in the Dark World and Ragnarok and Infinity War. And now all these different branches refer to several different other Lokis that we're going to see. President Loki, DB Cooper Loki, whoever it is. Now, what's important about Mobius M Mobius's visual example is that it matches the Ancient One's branch timeline description to Banner in Endgame. You remember this, MT?
Yeah. She goes whoosh, and like the gold line goes all the way into the distance, and then she does the graphic. It's a wonderful graphic.
She flicks the stone. Yeah. Oh, it's so great. And anytime a complicated explanation matches some other complicated explanation in cinematic universe, it's like, yes, we have some answers now. It's kind of like the TVA using the same visual metaphors as the wizards. It's kind of like the nerds and the LARPers agreeing on the same pizza topping. It just kind of tells us pepperoni and pineapple, an objective truth of the perfect topping combo. Unless, are you willing to fight me on that? Because I can do this all day when it comes to pepperoni and pineapple.
I mean, I'm all about the pineapple on pizza, so that's just where I'm at.
Okay, so we are kind of left with the 3 rules of this explanation of timelines in the MCU. Rule 1.
To me, Eric.
Time travel causes the timeline to break into parallel alternate timelines, what we will refer to as the multiverse. Rule 2. Those breaks can only occur when an Infinity Stone is displaced from its place in history and not returned. So Cap clipped a lot of those branches when he returned the stones, but Loki, by stealing the Space Stone from that timeline, it took the Space Stone out of it, and it created a new alternate timeline, which also might tell us that sub-rule A, that the Space Stone in this timeline might get lost or stolen in Loki. And B, that all the other alternate Lokis we see might have also stolen the Tesseract or the Scepter from its place in history, or the Power Stone or the Time Stone or something else, and kind of caused all these other Lokis to split off in their own way. In fact, maybe someone stealing the Time Stone is how we get further chaos, because that person has a different form of time magic.
Okay, I like that. And also, this got me thinking about, remember the Power Stone in Guardians of the Galaxy? That was locked up. So, like, I wonder if the reason why it was locked up like that was because of maybe Loki time traveling shenanigans and they just wanted to lock it down in history. Who knows?
Exactly. And that idea of magic brings us to our third rule, rule 3.
Yes.
This all works. Everything we know about time travel in the MCU is magic, not science. So it didn't really make sense when Hulk tried to explain it to Rhodey or to Scott. It only made sense when the Ancient One, at that point in history, the Sorcerer Supreme, gave us some confirmation, was able to speak authoritatively on it. You could argue that magic is essentially science humans do not yet understand, according to the Asgardians. So it's all kind of the same thing, but it looks like going forward they're going to use the language of magic and not like science fiction, Planck scale, EPR paradox. That might be how humans try to talk about it, but really it's only going to make sense in terms of magic.
Which makes sense for the MCU because I feel like when you say something's magic, it's just easier for people to just digest and understand and accept. So like they're making these movies for just the regular layman. So it's just, it's magic, whatever.
Yeah, just you get it, idiot. Stop questioning that, stupid.
I'm not sure the science really supports that.
Magic.
But that idea of sorcery may be why Loki in particular was chosen to help the TVA fix this time crisis, because he is a sorcerer. He is a wizard without a hat. He trained in magic by Frigga, an Asgardian witch. It wasn't just an insult. She owns it. She's a witch.
She is a witch. She loves being a witch. She loved being a witch till she was murdered by an elf. Sad times.
Sad times.
Look at me.
Witch!
Since we're now conflating time travel with magic in the MCU, all of this may just kind of descend into that it category. Because Loki seems to be following shows like Rick and Morty and Doctor Who, and those shows totally embrace absurdism with their sci-fi rules. There is some logic to it, and in fact Rick and Morty had a rule for a long time of never doing time travel. But then the writers eventually just kind of caved on it, and then they did one time travel episode so far. Season 4, episode 5, that's when a snake planet invents time travel. And then it ends up going into Terminator rules, where like there's a predestined closed loop of Morty and Rick's future selves looping back on that timeline. And they do a little Easter egg where they plant their ship early in the episode to show that the future selves are just waiting for time to catch up. So that ended up being kind of a type 4 this always happened thing.
I freaking love Rick and Morty when they do stuff like that. It's so good.
It's amazing. And I bring it up because the showrunner on Rick and Morty is Mike Waldron, who is a Rick and Morty writer. And it seems to be they might be going in that direction for Loki from 2 crucial details that you can find in trailer footage that they're going to be doing kind of a this always happened type 4 structure for Loki. The first clue is that TVA timeline monitor we've been talking about, where you see Loki's L1130 branch is really the one in the middle. And then as it extends, you can see various other branches to the left and to the right of it extending as well, which means that Loki's branch caused ripple effects after it in the historical timeline, but also somehow before it happened. So we can conclude from that Loki's branch inevitably led to some other future time traveler who looped back and caused other disruptions that had already happened in history.
Dang, this is about to be some complicated show, dude.
It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun explaining it, or doing the best that we can. And that brings us to our second detail, D.B. Cooper. So D.B. Cooper already exists in our real world history. He was a mystery hijacker in 1971 who jumped out of a plane with $200,000 and he was never found. This show is kind of suggesting that D.B. Cooper was actually Loki the whole time. And
I knew it.
This series may be saying that this and plenty of other historical mysteries were actually just the doing of the God of Mischief's time meddling in the show. In other words, this always happened, and it happened because of Loki.
Dang, is the reason why I'm depressed because of Loki? Probably.
Yes. Everything bad is because of Loki. 9/11, Loki. Kennedy, Loki. January 6th, Loki. Me stubbing my toe, Loki.
Hey, but watch that. Watch out!
Darla
February
taking a
29th.
shit on my favorite shirt, Loki. Yeah, February 29th. That makes more sense. Of like somehow Loki farted too hard and the Earth got tipped off its rotation and revolution around the sun.
It's like, you've ruined time, Loki. Now we need February 29th. Thanks, man.
Okay, so in conclusion, MT, it's still a little soon to know exactly how Loki's going to change the rules, but we already know so far that it's going to skew the MCU into one of a couple different types of time travel, and it's going to be doing the very complicated, dramatic Tenet / Prisoner of Azkaban / Predestination / Terminator style, where it's insane to talk about everything wrong in the world that we've always asked questions, every plot hole potentially in the MCU. Whether it's, why is it Don Cheadle now? Why is it Ruffalo now? Why did Spider-Man Homecoming have that 8 years later time card? It was all Loki's fault.
Exactly.
Which I love.
They could just retcon all their mistakes. Like, yeah, it was Loki. Just don't even worry about it.
So really, while you could say Endgame showed us the door to multiversal timelines in the MCU, it was Loki who had to walk through it. Oh. And I'm so excited to see him do that.
Thank you for that. Like, all those riveting explanations of all the types, and I'm gonna be looking closely for all the different types in Loki. I'm like, what types are you doing? What are you gonna do there, Loki?
Focusing.
I will not rest until everyone just starts using the types, the type code, just kind of commonly. Like when people were comments, like, "Oh, so this is like in Terminator." They're like, "No, dude, type 4. Come on, watch the new Rockstars video."
Honestly, I want the types introduced in dating apps, so like you could just find a partner by the type of time travel that they like.
What type of time traveler are you?
Exactly.
I'm unstuck time. They're like, "Oh, you're unstuck mind. I'm unstuck body. This isn't gonna work."
This isn't gonna work. Sorry. I mean,
and one guy's like, "I'm just a sticky body." Anybody want a sticky body? Ew, no, Curtis, get out of here. Oh, I can't. I'm stuck to my chair.
Well, thank you, Erik. That was an amazing explanation, and we are going to dive into our bite-sized questions next, but first, we gotta hear a word from the amazing people that help make Big Question possible. People like Mint Mobile. Big wireless providers love to trick us with a catch. So, when I heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month, I wondered where the catch was going to be. But good news, everyone, there is zero catch. It does not exist. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they are the first company to sell wireless service online only. By cutting out retail stores, there is no crazy overhead costs that get passed down to you in the form of mystery fees. Disgusting. But instead, Mint passes those savings on to you. Here at New Rockstars, Philip has switched to Mint Mobile and he loves it. He kept his phone and just swapped out the SIM card and has good or better service as he had before at a fraction of the cost. And all plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number, which is super convenient. And if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has a 7-day money-back guarantee. So there's no risk. Just go for it. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/bigq. That is mintmobile.com/bigq. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/bigq.
Ooh, that sounds like a great deal, MT, but I got a great deal for you. Our sponsor, Masterclass. Masterclass lets you learn from the world's best minds, anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. Learn how to act from Natalie Portman, or how to DJ from Questlove, or improve your storytelling skills from Neil Gaiman. With over 100 classes from a range of world-class instructors, that thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think. Now, at New Rockstars, we have been digging into the business strategy and leadership class from Disney CEO Bob Iger. Sadly, he doesn't go into how you too can buy Lucasfilm and Marvel to become the biggest entertainment giant in the world, but he does go into negotiation and strategy stuff, and that's still really cool. Masterclass is accessible on your phone, web, or smart TV. Each class is broken out into individual video lessons, usually around 10 minutes long. Members can explore at their own pace, and each class is supported by downloadable materials like lessons and recipes. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention you can take a cooking class from Gordon Ramsay or Wolfgang Puck. You can find all available classes at masterclass.com. I highly recommend you check it out. Get unlimited access to every masterclass, and as a Big Question fan, you can get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/bigquestion. That's masterclass.com/bigquestion for 15% off. Masterclass. Masterclass. Masterclass.
So you're saying that I can learn from Gordon Ramsay without the yelling at me? I'm in.
There might be some yelling involved. I can't guarantee he won't yell. He gets animated. The guy gets excited about cooking, you know?
I mean, all right. Then I guess that's just more of an authentic experience, the yelling. So, all right. So what is our bite-sized question, Erik?
My bite-sized question for you, MT. So I want to know the exact value of the stolen artwork that we see in Sharon Carter's gallery in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 3.
Oh, wow. Well, that is a great question, Erik, because there is a lot of really expensive art in that place.
Yep.
I can't believe they're all dancing around it, but why not? It's Madripoor. There's no rules.
Right.
So when we meet up with Sharon Carter in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, she's still on the run for multiple government agencies after the shenanigans and helping Cap and Falcon during the events of Civil War. Now, to keep herself afloat, she's been dealing in stolen artwork, as we all do when we're on the run. We only get a brief glimpse at some of the collection, but after going through the episode frame by frame, we've been able to put a value on those pieces that we did see in the episode.
Nice.
Now, first, before the party, we can see a full suit of medieval armor and traditional Roman helmet with the red plume or galea. It's hard to identify exactly what these pieces are, but if we look at the similar artifacts from that time period, we can estimate the following. Now, let's take a look at the suit of armor. A rare full suit of armor was recently valued at $628,500 to $879,900 for a Sotheby's auction. We can assume that the armor in Sharon's collection would be rare and valuable, but we can be conservative and list it at like $600,000.
Okay.
Which is still pretty good. It's really
nice.
good.
All right, good start.
And then the Roman galea. Of course, there is a range value for this type of piece depending on the quality of the item and the intricacies of the piece, but in 2010, a very rare and intricate Roman helmet sold for about $3.6 million at a Christie's auction. That is... Wow. Yeah, it's worth more than my life.
No, MT.
It is easily worth more than my life, Erik. Easily.
We can cobble together more money than that for your life. We will George Bailey your life.
We can't fully see the piece here, but the metalwork from the back at least looks impressive. Now, again, let's be conservative and list this at about $1.8 million.
Okay,
which
so
is,
half of what it sold for. Okay.
Yeah, which is still pretty good. It's still really
pretty
good.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to the party where Zemo is laying down the moves, you know what I'm saying? Because we have artwork there that we could identify. Now, the Great Wave of Kanagawa, which is a woodblock print by Hokusai, which is valued at $51,500 to $77,500.
That's it? That's a big one. They should pay more for that.
They should really do that because that's a classic piece of art. And we got some Van Gogh at the party with a Van Gogh self-portrait from 1889. And this piece sold for $71.5 million at a Christie's auction in 1998, which means that the value in today's dollars would be around like $115 million.
Oh my God.
Pretty much double that. Oh, well, that's not double at all.
It's 1.5 times that, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, like 1.5 times that. It's probably worth more, but we'll just leave it at that because we're not art collectors here.
Whoa. We're not? I've been
We're only
collecting a lot of
art thieves, Erik. We don't art collect.
Oh, that's right. If you steal it, you're not a collector. Yeah, you gotta
We
pay.
steal it, but we just sell it. We just don't think about
Where's the certificate of authenticity?
Yeah. Then we have Woman with a Parasol, Madame Monet and Her Son, a painting by Claude Monet. Now, a similar famous Monet painting called Haystacks sold at an auction in 2019 for about $110.7 million.
Oh my God.
So I would say that we could probably value this at around that same price as well.
Oh my God. Art's so much money.
And then we have the rehearsal of the ballet on stage, Oscar Degas from 1874, and a similar Degas painting of dancers was valued at $48 million in 1999, which is about like $75 million today. And it would probably be worth a lot less if Zemo actually gets too close and touches it, which he almost does.
He did with his sweaty dance fingers.
He touched it?
Or he got close.
He got real close. I think Zemo's he's too classy, but he's also too curious. So he gets real close, but he doesn't get too close.
He's a toucher. Yeah.
He's a toucher. Zemo's definitely a toucher.
You didn't ask for that painting's consent, Zemo. You see this guy at the party? Bounce him out.
He'll be touching all your paintings, bro. Don't trust Zemo. He'll be all up on your Mona Lisa. You know what I mean?
Painting, where on yourself did Zemo touch you?
Yeah.
We might be having to cut that out.
And then we have The Young Woman of the People by Amedeo Modigliani.
Buongiorno.
And paintings by this artist have sold for $40 to $170 million. So let us conservatively estimate this at around $100 million.
Wow,
Holy
okay.
shit. And of course we have The Head of a Peasant Girl by Kazimir Cernovich Malevich. I'm so sorry if I said your name terribly wrong.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I don't think he might.
And paintings by this artist have sold for $60 million to $85 million. So on the table, we can see that there are 3 bids, and it's currently at $6,100,000. So it's possible that this art is going for a much lower price than our world value, which means that maybe the post-blip world just values art less than we do. Maybe we're just classier than the MCU.
They've had to live practically for 5 years. So, like, you know what? Do we need to spend this money on art?
Since there was half people around to even appreciate the art, maybe the value just goes down, you know? And finally, there is Portrait of a Young Man by Renaissance artist Raphael. And this painting dates back to the 16th century and is actually thought to be a self-portrait of Raphael himself, which is very weird because he does not look like a Ninja Turtle, but we shall let that slide.
Take him at his word.
There's a lot of historical significance to this painting as it was stolen by Nazis when they invaded Poland in World War II. It is still yet to be recovered, and according to some art market specialists, if found, the painting itself would be worth in excess of $100 million today, right now.
Holy. We gotta find it, MT. What are we doing making YouTube videos?
Sharon has got the painting. The painting has been found.
Well, if Sharon has it, she doesn't appreciate it. She doesn't need it. She has a Hightown penthouse. We're in the same end. We're in a blue dungeon, just at very ends of a very long hallway that's blue.
Hey, bro, what's going on? Hey.
Anyway, we're not allowed to get close to each other.
They kept us apart because we were just cuddling at work too much.
We were goofing around. We were cuddling, and they said you two. Long hallway.
Theorizing and cuddling. Enough of that.
Hey, cut it out.
It's your fault.
So, just these pieces alone would give Sharon Carter of Madripoor at least $563 million worth of artistic assets, Eric. And that's just the arts that we were able to see in the show. She's probably got over $1 billion worth of art, most likely. But good God, that is a classy, well-to-do woman. I don't know why she's complaining about not being able to see her dad. Boo-hoo! You got a Monet.
And she did that somehow. She might have been there for 2 years, but then she's gone for 5, and then she's back there for 6 months and is able. She could buy an island.
Exactly. Like, that's an amazing work ethic. If, like, for 6 months you're just hustling, you got all those paintings. Wow.
She's a hard worker, that Sharon Carter. Always hustling.
I mean, you got a lot of time on your hands when you're on the run from the government, apparently.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, MT, for that answer. That clarified a lot of things and brought up way more questions. It makes me far more confused about her character now.
Yes, it's all super complicated stuff, but, you know, with time travel and art, it's not going to be easy. Now it is time of the show where we do our thing with the box of scraps. Box of scraps questions. Now, today's box of scraps question is, do you have any funny club/bar stories? And have you danced as well as Zemo, Eric? Do you have any cool club/bar stories?
I believe I might have told a story in a past big question about when my pants ripped during apple bottom jeans at a party. So I won't. You have to go find that episode. I can't remember what episode it was, but my pants ripped because I went too low. Oh. And there was video of it that my buddy sent me later. But the story that comes to mind right now. Okay, so I have this weird thing about karaoke where I don't want to do it unless I know everyone in the room, because I've just had a couple bad experiences with karaoke. But I love it. I love watching it. I love going out with friends and watching them do it. So there was this, like, it was several years ago. It must have been, because it was a friend's, I think it was a rap party for a show she worked on or a movie she worked on. And they rented out this big bar, and it's like a bar with like multiple parts to it. It's just like one of these places that like they rent out for big parties like that, for big studio parties. Or it might have been an Emmys party or something like that when I used to work on a show. Anyway, cool. one room was devoted just for karaoke, and there was like a big dance floor, and I was there for her. Really, I was like her guest. I was there for like a bunch of people. I knew some of the people there, but most of the people I didn't work with them, so I didn't really know them. And I got real drunk because it was open bar. It was drinks for free. So I was like,
as you should. I mean, come on.
Hell yeah. So I was getting real drunk, and then like she was like, "Oh, we should sing. We should do a karaoke song together. What song do you want to put down?" And I was real loud, and I was real drunk, and I was like, "You know what? You need to write down. You go up there. You go up there, and you tell them that we are going to sing Lady Gaga Star is Born."
Oh,
and
boy.
She's like, what? I'm like, Lady Gaga Star is Born. Star is Born. And I think I was trying to say Shallow, maybe, from Star is Born. Because I'm like, oh, this would be a cool duet. And then, like, man, people love that song at that time. So she went up there and I was like, yes, thank you. You know, it was a real long wait list for karaoke. So everyone was just kind of dancing and drinking. I was getting drunker. And I'd even forgotten that I'd said that. And then she comes back up to me and she goes, hey, we're up next. And I was like, huh? She's like, we're up next for karaoke. I put down what you said, Lady Gaga, Born This Way. And I was like, wait, hold on, what? Born This Way? And then suddenly I was like, oh no. Because, look, I love Lady Gaga, Born This Way. I think it's a great song. But I realized I just read the room and I'm like, these people don't know me. And if I try to do this, it's going to look like I'm making fun of it. It's going to look like I'm making fun of Lady Gaga's gay anthem. And I don't want to look like I'm making fun of it. Like, these people don't know me. I don't know them. Yeah. If it was just like a room full of people I know, I would have been okay with it. And even looking back, I probably just should have done it. I could have crushed it. But I was just like, oh, okay. And she turned her back and I ran to the bathroom.
Oh, wait, you didn't do it? Oh my God.
So I was just like waiting in there. I was like, and they're like, do you need help, sir? I'm like, leave me alone. I'm fine. And then I waited, enough time for the song to change over. And I was like, okay. I'm just going to leave this now. I'm going to leave this party. So as I made it back and I was in one other room, I couldn't even hear what song was playing. I couldn't hear if it was done or not, but I kind of made my way back through to that room and the music was bum ba dum 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 bum bum. Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run. So there was a second miscommunication between this woman and the DJ where he thought she wanted Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run, which for her, totally out of her range. I don't think she was a big Bruce Springsteen fan, so she was like, and she was like bottoming out. She couldn't hit it. Meanwhile, I love Springsteen's Born to Run. I was born to run, shoving my way through the crowd drunkenly. I'm like, I can do it. I can do this one. Everyone clear the way. But the crowd was like into it, singing the song back to her, trying to get her into it. Because the crowd's like, whoever sings Born to Run for a karaoke, everyone else is just singing Gaga songs, and they're like, yeah, wow, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like they were getting so into it. I was like, that could be me. I should have sang it. I'm so stupid. And afterwards, she's like, where did you go? And I was like, I got sick. I'm sorry.
Well, now if she's watching this, now she knows the truth.
Now she knows. That's a lesson to you. If you get brought up to do karaoke, whatever the song is, just go for it and sell it, and the crowd will be with you. The truth is, though, LA is what ruined karaoke for me, because in LA, everyone's a freaking amazing singer, and they'll go up there and rock the place. It's not like everywhere else where people are just like giving it their all and having fun. In LA, it's like, oh, you're an actual Broadway talented. It's like singing at 54 and Below in New York. Like everyone's like an amazing singer. And it gives you some imposter syndrome of like, oh, I just wanted to have fun and sing Tequila. I guess that's not going to cut it.
Yo, f***ing man, sing however you want, wherever you want. Because if your voice isn't super good, then that is a commodity. Like that's what people want to see. Because if everyone has a good voice, then who cares? But if your voice is just average or like not great, then that's fine too. Like it's just a fun time. Whatever.
Thank you, MT. What about you? Have you ever been in a Zemo position?
Well, I don't have a whole lot of clubbing experience, as I was a loser in college.
I find that hard to believe.
No, I'm just kidding. I just didn't really go out that much in college. But when I did go out, when my friends finally dragged me from my Doctor Who and Adventure Time dorm room, where I would just watch those shows, I remember going to the club and ordering like one of my first drinks. And for me, like, I'm not a huge like alcohol guy. So like when I went there, I was like, give me the most delicious drink that you have, sir, please. And he was like, all right, I got this. I was like, no, that sounds like a man drink. I'm talking about give me the girliest drink that
Shirley
you have.
Temple?
Sir.
Hold the temple?
Exactly. I think he actually did make me a Shirley Temple. I don't know. I forget what it was, but it was delicious, and it was in one of those little, those triangle cups. So I was walking around sipping my drink, and people were like, MT, why are you drinking? Like, why don't you just have a beer? I was like, listen, you guys are drinking your piss water beer. I'm drinking my delicious... whatever this is, this man made for me. And I got pretty f***ed up. I was pretty somewhat drunk after a couple of those. Because those, the drinks that taste good are the ones you have to look out for. Because you just down those. Those.
Yeah, they're sneaky. Sneaky.
And then I woke up in Kansas the next day. So that was, I'm just kidding.
But you went to college in Kansas, so that wasn't that bad, right? No.
Oh, no, I did not.
No,
that was in Massachusetts.
Yeah, sneaky. Oh, okay. All right, okay. That would be weird. Yeah.
So that's not as cool as your story, but that's just a funny thing that happened. It's like, oh, people are judging me for my, martini. Whatever. Who cares?
That sounds like a true Zemo story that you had. I'm impressed.
And I was dancing just as good as Zemo. Probably.
Oh, I'm sure you were. Oh, yes, of course you were.
Several people were hurt while I was attempting to dance.
Oh, but that's how you know you're doing it right.
And that is it for this episode of Big Question. Thank you so much to Erik for joining me this episode. Follow him at EA Voss all over social media. And then follow me at Mastertainment as well. And follow New Rockstars and subscribe to us on YouTube for amazing shows like Fitness Origins that my boy Erik is on. And he's killing it with Tommy Bechtold and Philip Molina hosts. And it is amazing. Please go watch that. It's such a fun time. Tommy rocked it on the last video with that hammer challenge. Good God.
Yeah.
But spoilers. I won't. That's spoilers.
Oh yeah. Just you wait till. Well, actually, by the time this comes out, I think the next one will come out too. Yeah. But that dance battle. Oh, that dance battle one.
Anyways, yes. Subscribe to New Rockstars here on YouTube, and then hit that notification bell so you can get all of the notifications from whenever we upload our amazing videos here on the channel. And just take it easy, everyone. Stay safe.
Take it easy.
And,
stay safe out there.
Call your parents, maybe, because they miss you.
Call them.
Seriously,
they do miss you.
They love you.
They talk to us all the time. Like, we're best friends with them. And they have some concerns. But they love us.
Yes, they talk to us. They say they told us to tell you to call them because they miss you.
They miss you.
So just do that, please. All right. Take it easy, everyone.